Okay, we're here in Oslo with Stephen Wilson from Porcupine Tree, and we are now going to have a little chat about this and that, and of course the incident. I think tonight you're going to actually play a gig in Oslo and in Centrum Scene. You played here 2 years ago. How was that?
I seem to remember it was good fun. Yeah, it was a good show, and I think it was sold out then, and it's sold out again tonight, which is terrific. And we have a good following here in Norway. It seems, or certainly in Oslo anyway. I can't say we've ever played anywhere else except Oslo yet, but certainly Oslo we have a good following.
When you play songs live, what does it give you to repeat what you have already done? You know, you are already done with the song when you have released it, but
right.
you are not, obviously.
Well, it's one of the things about being a professional musician is that you have to. I think Joni Mitchell once famously said that writing a song and then going on tour is like a painter painting the same painting every day of his life, which is a very bizarre thing to do. But of course, the thing about performing live is that every situation is slightly different. Every audience is different. I think sometimes the audience forget how much of a part they play. Certainly with me, I really, really rely on the audience and to feed off the audience to make each evening different, to make the vibe and the atmosphere of every evening unique. So, for example, playing to a seated audience is very different to playing to a standing audience. So, you know, some nights can be more routine than others. But if the audience is special, then they can really lift us to give a special performance.
Was there a particular place where you seem to have the best reaction from audiences? People say South America or Japan or whatever, but for you guys, is there somewhere that's...
We've already had some great thanks man. We've already had some great experiences on this tour. Paris was phenomenal. The Parisians are always very, very excited and very positive. Portland in America was a terrific show. New York was a terrific show. It's funny, sometimes you can go to the same country and even city to city it completely changes. The whole vibe changes.
Was there because I suppose Porcupine Tree were very much a slow building band. Was there a particular country or somewhere that took to the band sooner than anywhere else?
Yes, there was. Italy.
Really?
And Holland were the first countries in Europe to take to the band. That was a long time ago. I'd say nowadays almost everywhere we go we have a good following, but there was a long time when we struggled in certain countries.
Yeah.
America was a struggle to begin with. Now it's one of our biggest markets. But then the first time, you know, there's some places we go to where we're surprised that we have a following at all. Like the first time we went to Russia was last year. Didn't know what to expect. But
how was that? Like,
it was amazing. Like 5,000 people showed up to see us, and you know, had no idea at all that there was even one person there listening to the music. So that was a very pleasant surprise. Obviously, we went to Australia for the first time last year and had a very similar experience there. So those things are always very, very gratifying. We signed to a major label in 2001, and for the first 3-4 years, nothing really changed, and I think we were all very disappointed, the band and the label. Yeah. And then suddenly, I think things started to really grow for us in a big way really with the last record, Fear of a Blank Planet. There was some changes. We moved from a major back to an indie. We moved back to Roadrunner, who is an independent label, a big one, but still an independent label. But I don't necessarily think that it was because of that. I think actually it's down to a couple of things. Firstly, I think there has been a very strong shift in the musical climate over the last 5 years in favour of the kind of music that we play. Even 5 years ago, or more than 5 years ago, to say that you played progressive music or album-orientated music was still very much out of fashion, underground. It was almost like something that would damn you to have no mainstream media attention at all. And that's changed. That has changed. We've had more interest from the media over this record than any other previous record. And I think it's partly because bands like Radiohead, Muse, Flaming Lips, the Mars Volta, Tool, all these bands have come along
effectively playing very ambitious, very pretentious music, pretentious in the best, I mean, in a very positive way, and yet being very, very critically acclaimed and having a lot of mainstream acceptance and attention. And of course, Porcupine Tree have been doing that for a long time. We haven't really changed what we're doing that much, but I think the media's perception of what we do has changed. The media's attitude to what we do has changed a lot, such that this time we were getting terrific, coverage in places like that would never even have given us the time of day 4 or 5 years ago.
Mainstream press as well, like something like in the UK, for example, NME.
NME reviewed the album and they gave it a good review. Even 3 years ago, that would have been inconceivable that the NME would even give us, mention our name in the same breath as like some of the bands they write about. But so those that Q, Mojo, all those magazines now are starting to take the band more seriously. And the other thing I think that's changed is the internet has liberated music from record companies, from media. It's taken away that whole middle layer that used to be the barrier between a band and its audience. You had to somehow get to your audience through this kind of record company, commercial radio, commercial media. So you had to kind of really hope for the best. And now I don't think you have to do that. You can go right round all that shit with the internet or fan power, street teams. Roadrunner really understand those things. Roadrunner is a label that really understands the power of the fan, the power of the street teams. In other words, fans getting other fans. One fan coming to a show, give them a great show, they'll come back next time with 4 of their friends. Those 4 people will go away and come back the next time with 4 of their friends. And I think that's the way it's kind of worked for us.